What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and we will talk about the big updates on Jordan Henderson and Fabinho's potential transfer to Saudi Arabia, and we will also report on the latest news on who Liverpool could replace both Henderson and Fabinho with, including Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. We have some updates on those transfer stories as well, but what do you think about Liverpool including both Jordan Henderson and Fabinho in their pre-season travel plans? Liverpool are going to Germany to play Greuther Fürth and Karlsruhe and other clubs. So Liverpool including Jordan Henderson in their squad means that there is no imminent 24-hour departure window for Henderson, because the Saudi Arabia club, who of course Steven Gerrard is the new manager, and they offered Henderson for £30 million per year, which of course Henderson accepted because it's a 3-year contract. It sets him up for generational wealth, but you can argue about morals and everything later. But first of all, we have to talk about that maybe the Saudi Arabian club thought, and this is not Steven Gerrard negotiating of course, but the club itself, Al Ettifaqi, is negotiating with Liverpool, and they thought that they could get Henderson with a low-ball offer of between 0 and 10 million. But Liverpool are asking £20 million. The Premier League season is starting less than a month from now, on the 13th of August. So Liverpool, if they are going to sell one of their most experienced player and their captain, it won't be for a cheap price. The Telegraph, there is a big report in the Telegraph by Chris Bascom, a Liverpool-based journalist, saying that unless there is a significant bid for Henderson in the next 24 hours, there is no reason why Henderson won't be in the travelling party with Liverpool. As things stand, Fabinho is expected to also join the trip, as he also is the subject of the strong interest from Al Ittihad, another Saudi Arabian club, and the former bid for him right now appears to be closer than for Henderson. Henderson getting offered £700,000 per week, of course, is a huge amount of money, and Henderson accepted it. The deal is resting on how much the Saudi Arabian club is ready to pay for Henderson, because Liverpool are very strong negotiators in the market and they won't sell Henderson for cheap, and I think that's right. Henderson's valuation is proportional to the transfer fee received by Chelsea for Kalidou Koulibaly, who is 32 years old, 1 year younger, and the deal to Al Hilal was worth £21 million. And if Al Ettifaqi can offer Henderson £30,000 per year, that's £30 million per year. What am I talking about? £30 million per year. For 3 years, that's like £90 million. That's a huge amount of money. Surely they can afford another 20 million if they are getting that amount of money. And I'm hearing that the Saudi Arabian government is basically telling all the clubs that we will cover all the wages that you need to pay for these experienced Premier League players. Just get them in the league. But some Twitter account named Ettifaq KSA is reporting that their transfer budget is around £14 million, and there is no way that Liverpool will sell Henderson for that amount. According to Fabrizio Romano, Fabinho is open to the move to Saudi Arabia as well, but it all depends on how much money these Saudi Arabian clubs will offer for Henderson and Fabinho, and whether it's enough to convince Liverpool that they should let them go. And I mean, if Henderson is staying, which now looks like a possibility, then he owes an awful lot of answers to Jurgen Klopp, to the other Liverpool players, to the Liverpool fans, and especially to the minority groups that he supported all through the last 4 or 5 years. Dominic King is reporting in the Daily Mail, and I will tell you guys that report as well, that the Saudi Arabian club is now struggling to meet Liverpool's asking price. And I mean, how can that be the case when they can offer £30 million per year for Henderson? The only explanation that I read so far is that the government of Saudi Arabia, which are funding this crazy spending by the league, they don't want too much money going out of the country. But then why did they sign Ruben Neves for like 50 million or something like that? Why are they signing Riyad Mahrez for 30 million? I heard that. But maybe they don't want too much money going out of Saudi Arabia. They want to spend it on the league and in terms of getting all these big experienced older players. They thought they won't cost as much money as signing somebody who is 25, 26 years old and is a big name. They are signing a lot of 30-year-old players and older because they cost little money or like less money than the players in their prime, and they still have to give them huge wages. Their main motive is to sign as many big name players as possible from Europe and try to make the league more competitive and also more desirable to watch, which is of course an interesting strategy. But Dominic King in the Daily Mail is reporting that the Saudi Arabian club Al Ettifaq is struggling to meet Liverpool's £20 million asking price. And Liverpool should be ruthless in this. They should say, if you want Henderson, you pay us 20 million and not anything less. And they have a huge amount of money, so they surely can afford this transfer fee. I mean, if Al Ittihad can offer 40 million pounds for Fabinho, surely Al Ettifaq has 20 million. I mean, this is now going to be really, really interesting because it throws the whole Liverpool preparations for the new season and the whole of pre-season into turmoil. Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool hate instability and the fans hate it as well. And we need to get this done. We need to give a deadline to these clubs of maybe the end of July, or maybe give them a 10-day or a 1-week deadline. Either agree a deal with these players until the end of July, so we can still sign replacements for them, or you are not getting them and the deal is done, the deal is off and the negotiations are finished. So Liverpool have to give hard deadlines to these clubs, otherwise they will mess about all summer transfer window and then we will be left with a lot of uncertainty, and that's not what you want if you want to challenge for the Premier League title. Also, it's hard for the players as well because Henderson thought that surely if Al Ettifaq has this much money to offer him as wages, surely it was only a matter of a formality of Al Ettifaq agreeing a deal with Liverpool. Maybe they're journalists or maybe Henderson's camp thinks that Liverpool will budge, but Liverpool are very tough, very hard negotiators in the transfer market. We sell so many fringe players, young players for a lot of money. Danny Ward, the goalkeeper, Dominic Solanke, Jordan Ibe, these players went for like 10, 15, 20 million pounds and they were like not worth that amount. So hopefully Liverpool will get their money's worth for Jordan Henderson, who is actually worth 20 million in my opinion. And James Pearce is reporting that Henderson will only depart Liverpool if the club receives the amount of money it is asking for, and that's 20 million. The same goes for Fabinho. I'm not sure how much Liverpool are asking for, maybe 40, 50 million. I would ask for 50 million for Fabinho and 20 million for Henderson. For 70 million I would go all out to sign either Moises Caicedo or Tchouaméni, because that's the only way that the replacement will be good enough to replace Fabinho. Fabinho on his day is a world-class, experienced, top defensive midfielder. You can't replace him with just a young player like Romeo Lavia. That would be absolute suicide by Liverpool point of view. And Oliver Kay, another journalist, has said that Al Ettifaq, the club trying to buy Henderson, is not one of the major players in Saudi Arabia. They are not directly backed by the PIF, the Saudi Arabian Investment Fund, but they still have a lot of money because the whole government is backing basically the whole league. He said, it wouldn't surprise me if we find out that it's another one of these big government-backed or state-nationalized companies funding this spending in Saudi Arabia. It just feels like there is this massive push by the government and by the royal family to invest in the Saudi Arabian league. Al Ettifaq is not in the big four, which is directly funded by the PIF, so they don't have the same level of financial wealth, financial spending power. Al Nassr, Al Hilal, Al Ahly and Al Ittihad are the 4 clubs who have the spending power. Al Nassr, I think, is the club of Cristiano Ronaldo. Al Ittihad is the club of Benzema and then N'Golo Kante and Nuno Espirito Santo and Jota from Celtic, and they want to sign Fabinho. I think Firmino went to Al Ahly, if I'm not mistaken, and Al Hilal signed Benjamin Mendy, for example, and Khalidou Koulibaly. But these negotiations could change quickly, Oliver Case suggests, because if Al Ettifaq's main backers, which are the state-owned Saudi company Aramco, they opt to pump more funds into the club, then it will be easy for them to sign Jordan Henderson. And of course Liverpool hold all the cards, so I think Liverpool not budging will be good for Liverpool in the end, because these Saudi Arabian clubs sooner or later they will realize they can't mess about with Liverpool, and they will have to pay the money. And besides the obvious moral issues of Henderson going to Saudi Arabia, the footballing side is also very interesting, because Henderson would be effectively calling time on his career at the top level of football, and also handing back the real Liverpool armband, and he would effectively maybe end his England career after 77 appearances for the England national team. There would be no Anfield farewell, there would be no outpouring of emotion and recognition from the Liverpool fans, because everybody expected Henderson to still be at the club at the end of last season. Firmino got a proper send-off. Henderson already played 492 games for Liverpool, and Henderson got into the best shape in the summer possible, and he also spoke about the challenge of this new season with Liverpool signing new midfielders. So he definitely wasn't planning on leaving Liverpool, but of course this bid turned his head, and it will be very, very awkward if Henderson doesn't leave Liverpool. And I wonder how the Liverpool fans would react to him. I think from Liverpool's point of view, it makes sense to sell Henderson right now. I already said in yesterday's video. And Jordan Henderson's family, according to the Daily Mail, have held reservations over the prospect of a move to Saudi Arabia. The initial indications were that Henderson would be reluctant to leave Liverpool at this stage of his career, and he was worried about his England place given the Euro 2024 is coming up at the end of the season. It's understood that his family also had reservations about relocating to the Middle East. However, he is thought to have said second thoughts about the move. He already accepted verbally Al Ettifaq's contract, because his wages would be 4 times the wages that he's currently earning, and also a 3-year contract and regular playing time, and basically financially being set for generations is what convinced Henderson in the end to accept this deal. Football Insider is reporting that Liverpool are leading the way to sign Romeo Lavia. We will, as soon as we sell either Henderson or Fabinho, we will definitely move for Romeo Lavia. But if Fabinho leaves, that maybe changes the picture. That maybe means Liverpool would need to sign an experienced midfielder. So I think Liverpool will wait on what will happen with the Fabinho deal. The Henderson deal, I think Liverpool will do it if Al Ettifaq is offering them 20 million. Southampton will need to sell Romeo Lavia. That's what some newspapers are saying. The defensive midfielder is one of the most sellable assets at Southampton, and they need to generate funds to rebuild their team, with many players of course leaving Southampton either because their contracts are up or because they don't want to play in the Championship, the second division. And Jurgen Klopp's side is convinced that Romeo Lavia wants to play for Liverpool over other clubs. So already verbally we have agreed everything with Lavia, and we spoke to his representatives, but I think it all depends on what will happen with Henderson and Fabinho. That's the big question. And Moises Caicedo is still a very, very interesting prospect. We want to see if we could sell Fabinho for 40 or 50 million and Henderson for another 20 million. then we could throw all that money plus a little bit more to Moises Caicedo. I'm not sure how realistic Tchouaméni is to price him away from Real Madrid. I'm not sure Real Madrid really want to sell him, but Moises Caicedo definitely wants to leave Brighton, so that could be a more realistic option. We need, if we sell Fabinho, we need a defensive midfielder who can come in and start for Liverpool straight away from day one, from week one of the Premier League. He should be good enough to start for Liverpool. And that leaves a few players, Moises Caicedo and Tchouaméni, I think the two main candidates. So let me know what you think about all this talk in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.